So, feather flips, basically, you're going to want to set up like impossible. So you want your back foot kind of here in the groove, and you want your front foot pretty much anywhere you can get out of the way. So I usually have it alongside this rail. Helps for me to get the board out really quick, nice away from my front foot. But as with all tricks, you want to keep your head over the centre of the board. If you're leaning forward, it's going to shoot the board away. You're not going to be able to land on it. And if you do land on it, because your head's over the board, because your head's leaning forward over the board, you're not going to have your balance centred, so you're going to stumble off that direction, which is not what you want to do, really. Right, so to start the trick, you want to start to scoop like you would in Impossible. It's not important that you learn Impossibles and pressure flips first, but it definitely helps if you learn them. Definitely helps. So you're going to want to start to scoop like you would in Impossible. You want to come up and your front foot's going to be coming off. And it's important you don't come off the side of the board. It's important you don't do that, because if your foot comes off the side, you ruin the second part of the trick. You make it a lot harder. So you want your foot to come up and off the top of the board, preferably. If you need to come out to the side, you make sure you move it back over the top first. So you want to start to scoop. You're going to be about there, and your front foot should be somewhere in this vicinity, somewhere over here. Now your back foot on the scoop, you're going to want to slide it up the board. That's not like what you do with Impossible. In Impossible, you keep your foot low until it got over, and then you start to wrap your foot. This, you want to bring the foot up, and you want it on these top bolts here, so you want it to scoop up like that and drag up the board to stop the rotation of the Impossible. Now, the earlier you do this, the more vertical the board will be, so you don't want to do it straight away, because you'll have nothing to do the feather flip off of. So you want to leave it and drag up, so it's nice and flat. I mean, you can probably get over vertical. So your front foot's going to be up here by these bolts, right up there. Now your front foot should be coming down just about now as you're scooped around. So the timing is, as you're scooping up, your front foot's coming down, and you should catch it pretty much in mid-air like that, like a Casper. And the second part of the trick, you want to hit this side of the board. You hit this side of the board, it has a tendency to flip away. You want to try and catch this side of the board. You want your whole foot on it. You don't want just catching it there, or you don't want to hit it with just your heel or just your toe. You want to try not to hit the wheels or above the wheels, because it can go wrong. It will hit you in the leg as well if it does go wrong. Painful trick if you do it wrong. So your foot is going to be right up here, that foot's going to hit there, and you want to push it back. It's basically a Casper flip, but if you do it sideways, the board will shoot away, it will go across and away from you. You don't want that to happen. So when you wrap, you want to hit it dead straight down. You want to pull it straight down so it comes back over, like an Impossible, but the wrong way. So a lot of people would explain this trick as a half Impossible to half Impossible back. It really isn't. If you treat it like that, you're trying to use your back foot too much. I mean, if you find the board doesn't come up right, or your toe hits it and it starts to flip, and you're hitting the rail, as one of my friends does, you can still land it. It's just going to be a lot harder. So yeah, the key is trying to get that Impossible dead flat. You want it right up here. You don't want it leaning forward too much. You don't really want a sideways Impossible either, because you start wrapping sideways, it's really hard to get this back foot round and up to the bolts. So you want to try and get as much as a vertical Impossible as you can. Drag that back foot right up the board. That's key to the trick, because what will happen is it will stop the rotation nice and quick. You can get your front foot, pull it back down. The key to it is treat it like an anti-Casper, like a half Impossible nose Casper, but all in the air. So you might find it easier imagining you're doing it up something or whatever. You drag that foot up, this foot, nice Casper flip on it, should come back over. So the motions, and you sort it. That is pretty much the trick. Another big problem to the trick is exactly the same as with vertical Impossibles. You will tend to land right up here. Now, like in Impossibles, you can just change the wrap, it's no big deal. But on feather flips, because you need that vertical wrap and you need to do the Casper flip vertical, you can't Casper flip sideways. As I said, the board will shoot away. So what you need to do, this is the hard part about the trick, is getting it back over the bolts. So when you bring that front foot back down, you want your back foot to start sliding back down the board. So it's very much like up, back, down. Your foot really shouldn't have to leave the grip tape at any point. It usually does, I mean that's no big problem, but you can do the entire trick without your back foot leaving the grip. And it's a brilliant feeling when you get one that doesn't leave your foot. You can really feel the trick, how it works and everything. So that back foot is the key to landing back over the bolts. Your front foot, although it lands on the nose when you get it wrong, that's simply because it has to, because your back foot is so close to it. If you get your back foot, sorry, back down the board, so up to the bolts and then back down the board, you don't want to go too far because you'll push the towel down and that can stop you, or it could snap your towel, or it could jerk you into a towel scrape. You don't want to do that, it doesn't look very nice. If you can get your back foot back down the board and over these bolts, your front foot has got much more room to play with and it will find the bolts. You won't land like that. That rarely happens, which is the reason they're impossible to do to, well, they're extremely hard to do to nose manual. But yeah, that's pretty much the trick. It's all in your back foot. The front foot really just has to do the part of the Casper flip and nose Caspers. You might find landing nose Caspers as well helps. I mean, I do my Caspers off the nose anyway, so I might have a slight advantage there. That's pretty much it. Hope you learn it.